Hello everybody, my name's Isaiah, and this video is long overdue, and I extend my sincere apologies to Greg, one of my subscribers, who if you go into my YouTube channel and my discussion section at the top, you'll see Greg asked for this video like a year ago, and he called me out on it like 6 months in, and like a month ago, saying, "It's been a year, where's the video?" But it's finally here, man. Hope you enjoy. Let's get it started. Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus. The funniest thing about this photo here is he looks like he's of normal size sitting in the car right now. So they're sitting there, they're like, okay, here he comes out. He's coming out. Westerbeck, oh, I don't know how big he is. He looks pretty broad here. And he gets out of the car. So he's driving either a big ass fucking car or he's just a really small dude. I wonder if they were like, geez, what's going on here? Trick photography or something? Jeez, I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for bullying, but I'm just still going to keep doing it. Fucking hell. Christmas has come early and Santa needs some help. Look at him walking like, look at that angle of his knee to foot. So that's the fibula and tibula. Now, all jokes aside, like, I've got a friend who is also of small stature too, and he's got the same sort of thing. So the body seems to be more pigeon-toed. I think it's pigeon-toed the correct term. So that's when you walk with your feet angled in, and it's more of a feminine thing to do. So you can see he's really pigeon-toed here. He's got a very narrow base of support while he's walking. It looks like he's going to tip over. That's how a baby walks, not a full-grown man. Full-grown, not a full-grown man. So he's the body of someone suffering from dwarfism or anything like this is very interesting from a scientific point of view. We'll keep going. You can definitely tell he's a midget. Like his legs are disproportionately short to his body. Like how come is it because I know he's a midget that he looks like a midget now? Like if I was just showing this footage right now, there's you wouldn't be able to tell you shouldn't be able to tell whether he's a midget or not. But just because of his body proportions, you can. Like he's really wide but really short. Um, like his head looks like it's nearly as big as his leg. Like, fuck, I'm a terrible person. Like, I've been in trouble for bullying already. Like, this is going to be the end of my channel. Like, seriously.
Hello? Hello? Hey, come on in. I got fish and chips,
Did I hear Santa needs some help?
Huh? I got fish and chips, Dad. Well, I'll watch it.
Well, I'll watch you. So I thought he originally said, well, I want you. Well, I want you. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, he wants to fuck it straight up. But no, he said, oh, I'll watch you. So he wants to watch her get changed, which doesn't really surprise me for a pervert, to be honest. I wonder if Kevin shops at children's stores. Like those jeans are pretty short. They're like up to my knees. I'm 6'6", so I'm like 200 centimeters. I'm weighing like 100 kilos at the moment, so I'm a pretty big dude. So I feel sorry for these guys who are really small. Like if I would, I'd want to be taller than 6'6". If I could, I would have been like 7 foot. I love being tall. The intimidation factor just oh, it sounds pretty arrogant and cocky, but like, yeah, I know. I just love being tall. There are people who are my height who just hate being tall. They slouch over. They're like, oh, it sucks. But you got to, if you're tall or short, you just got to you got to own it. It's you. Um, Obviously, being taller is better than being short, but I wonder if he, like, because I struggle buying shoes. I'm like size 17, 16, 17. So I struggle buying shoes. I wonder if Kevin has to, like, shoe shop at, like a kid's store. And if he does, he might not be allowed to shop there anymore uh, because of his new regulations, he is not allowed to be within distance of a child, certain distance. So, as Jimmy Taco's mentioned in a live stream, if he's out for dinner and a child and the child's family walk in for dinner, legally he has to leave the restaurant as soon as possible, which is great, I think. Absolutely great. So, it'd be very hard for him to shop at a child's store for jeans. And imagine what that would do to your self esteem, knowing you have to shop for children's clothes. Jeez, it would be demasculating.
Hey, how are you? Could you do me a favor and have a seat right over there on that stool, please?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Not much. How you doing?
Oh my god, look at the size. He actually looks like a mini Chris Hansen from here. If this was like Austin Powers and Chris Hansen cloned a mini me of himself, that's what it would look like from behind. That looks like Chris Hansen. I mean, it's pixelated and poor quality, but and this also reminds me of like that whole principal student situation. Like the principal of the primary school invites the grade twoer to the office and he's coming up. There's lollies on the bench.
Good, how are you?
Fine.
Good, please have a seat.
Walks up, has a lolly. Because kids can't resist the lollies.
What are you up to today?
Look, he's,
Not much. Should I come over?
he can't stop eating the bastard. Like, who just goes and eats? That's just got to be a nervous twitch, surely. And again, look at this. Look at the body proportions here. I know I'm going on and harping on about it, but like the guy's nearly as big as this table here. He's very, very small. Does anyone know how tall he is?
Come on.
Who asked you to come over exactly? Who asked you to come over?
Destiny?
Destiny.
By the way, I haven't watched this, so this is my first time. So I guess it's more of a reaction. So Destiny has asked him to come over, which is quite interesting because Destiny is arguably his destiny is arguably to go to jail. And ironically, her name is Destiny, and he's going to go to jail. Interesting.
And how did you meet Destiny? How did you meet Destiny?
On the computer, she said hi and stuff.
She said hi and stuff. And who? Do me a favor, and just keep your hands on
I'm
your
fine.
Be careful, or else he'll pull out that 12-inch on you. Because I've heard midgets have really big cocks. Actually, and I feel, before I go on, I'm not 100% sure, but I think midget is a derogatory term, so I apologise if that offends anyone. But I'm going to keep saying it. But I heard midgets have really big dicks, like sometimes bigger than like a person of average normal size. So he might have like a 9-incher he might be pulling out. 12 gauge. 12-inch gauge.
Who approached who first?
She did, I think. Yeah.
She approached you?
Mhm.
And what did she say?
She said hi and everything, and such, and why don't you come over? I said, no, I don't want to. So I said, well,
Bullshit. Come over. Oh, no, I don't want to come over. I've molested 2 people before you. I'm a potential sex offender. No, I don't want to come over. But I'm here right now. I love it when the predators say they don't want to come over, but they're like there. Of course you wanted to come over, man. You're here right now. He's just eyeing down that candy. He's like a child. Like, he doesn't. Not only does he look like a kid, but he's acting like a kid. He's like one of Santa's little helpers. Because aren't the elves of Santa actually obsessed with candy as well? He's going to town with that candy.
I'll just come over and say hi, and that was it. So I told her yesterday, I said, didn't want anything. Just come over and say hi.
Didn't want anything. Just come over and say hi.
Just come over and say hi. And she said, well, can we do something? I said, well, I'm not sure I really want to. No.
You're not sure you really want to do anything.
No.
Do me a favor, though. Just keep your hands on your
That's fine.
In case he pulls out that 12 gauge.
How old is Destiny?
Ooh.
I'm not sure.
You're not sure.
No. 16, 17, 18.
16, 17, 18.
Again,
And
just
how old are you?
stock standard predator response. Lying, 16, 17, 18. 16 is probably age of consent over there. He's straight up, flat out lying here. He doesn't know they have a chat log, but it'd be common sense that they do. I always find this interesting with Kevin if maybe his height had some influence over his sexual preference of a young child. And of course, that gives him no, by any means, no reason, and does not give him the right to seek out a child. But it's just an interesting analyzation because it'd be very hard to date a woman of normal height, of average height. Your self-esteem would be very low. Of course, there are women of normal height who do date people of his stature, but it'd be very hard to find a woman. And maybe over time, he's just conditioned himself to only seek out someone of his height. So that being either like another midget or a child, because he may need to have dominance over the person of opposite sex that he's spending time with. A lot of males do want to be more dominant over the female, whether it's taller than their girlfriend or wife, bigger or musclier than girlfriend or wife. Some of these female bodybuilders, their husbands generally are massive because the husband or the woman doesn't want to have a weak, submissive husband. The female bodybuilder wants someone stronger than her, and it's the opposite for males. They want someone weaker than them. So Kevin, I'm just guessing, even though he knows in this reality and this planet he's in now, he's not legally allowed to date a female, but a few hundred years ago, I reckon he would have been with younger women. If he was like a prince or something, Prince Westerbeck, like 1,000 years ago in like Iran or something, he would have, I reckon, dated like kids. He would have, and when they grew up, I wonder if he would have just tossed them out, got a new kid. This is pretty dark, but if you're a male living in, where was this thing? I can't remember, Texas, Tennessee, or something, and you're trying to find a woman to be with, you're not going to want a woman bigger than you who can pick you up. You're going to want someone that you can assert some dominance over. Now, that's the only thing I can come with. I've been talking about this for a few minutes now. We'll keep going.
47.
47.
Mm-hmm. There was no intent on anything. I just...
No intent whatsoever.
No, on my part there wasn't. No, sir.
And what's your name?
No intent.
Kevin.
Kevin.
No intent, and the first thing he came in was, I want to watch you get undressed.
And Kevin, where do you live?
In New Lebanon.
In New Lebanon.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that destiny is not 16, 17, or 18.
Okay.
And she told you that.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to start the story again?
I don't really remember the whole thing.
Why don't you try to remember it for me?
That's the biggest lie. Can't remember something from like 10 hours ago. That's what Jeff Stacey said as well. Jeff Stacey was sitting there in that exact same seat, and Chris Hansen was like, you don't remember? And he's like, no, not really. It was like a whole day ago. And then Chris Hansen's like, a whole 24 hours ago, a lifetime ago, being sarcastic. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just a common excuse predators use that they don't remember. I mean, what else can you say? Another thing I want to mention is with Kevin Westerbeck, and Joey Jeremiah found this out. Joey says he reckons that Kevin was shitting himself in here. And if you do listen closely, you can hear bowel movements. And I encourage you to go to Joey Jeremiah's channel. Head back a few months ago and you'll see bowel movements, Kevin Westerbeck or something. And he does have strong bowel movements. And that could be an indication of him crapping his pants. Because, I mean, why wouldn't you? You're caught in a sting operation. I understand if you're going to crap your pants ever, this would be one of the times you do. Maybe it's because he's a baby. I don't know. He's just a big baby who has a diaper. Kevin Westerbeck in a diaper, I can imagine.
I remember that she said her grandma was gone or something, and I was going to go home, and she kept calling and said, please come over, please come over. I said, well, I'll come over just a little bit, but I'm going home. That's it.
And what did you talk about online with Destiny?
What she did, what I did,
Like what?
I don't remember the conversations.
Did you talk about sex?
Generally speaking, she said, can we take a shower together? And nothing went wrong.
Always putting the blame on her again. She called me. She wanted me to come over. I'm like, okay, I'll come. She wanted to have a shower with me. You know, it's the common predator. I've analysed a fair few of these now. I've watched a fair few of them, and there's so many commonalities across them. And as you can see, Chris is going for the papers. And I think Kevin realizes now, oh shit, he's got the chat logs. And he'll be in this internal struggle now whether he should admit it or lie. Because if he lies and Chris just goes to the chat log and shows what he said, not only is he a pedo, but he's a liar. That does not reflect well on someone, especially in court, maybe. So he's trying to think now, should I tell the truth? Should I lie? What should I do?
Didn't say yes or no or anything.
When
Is he holding the chair because he's worried he's going to fall off because it's so high up?
did you start talking to her?
Gosh, I don't remember. A few days ago or
A
something
few
like
days
that.
ago.
Last week or something.
And what do you do for a living?
Work at Right Path.
What do you
What?
do at Right Path?
Finance.
In finance.
Finance.
Now,
Little Westerbeck dealing with the big money.
the only problem with your story is that I have the transcript of your conversation.
I wonder if people like make fun of Kevin behind his back all the time. That'd be one of the most annoying things, I reckon, because I hate if people like say shit about me or like hang shit on me, which doesn't normally happen, but if someone like says something behind my back and I find out, it pisses me off so much. And being small, like, you know, everyone would just be talking shit about you. Not everyone, I mean, there are good people in this world, but then there are people like me who are just bullies half the time. I wouldn't bully someone, but if they're a predator, I'd bully them. But he just, you know, always have that, you know, idea that there are people, you know, looking at him, talking about him. He wouldn't know at the office whether people were mocking him, his height, his turtle walk, his, you know, he's got a shitty situation. And I do feel for him if he wasn't a predator. It's hard. And, you know, overcoming struggles and how you deal with struggles builds you up as a person. And look at Tyrion Lannister. What's his name in real life? Peter Dinklage. He's a midget, and have a look at him. What he's doing. He's one of the greatest actors in Britain at the moment. Yes, that's what they've said. One of the biggest stars in the world at the moment, and he's also a midget. So look, there's no excuse. Okay, you can sit there and blame your genetics and your parents all you want. Blame God, whoever. Or you can take it on the chin and see what you can do with life. Take it on. Take a challenge. And one of my good mates has Asperger's, and he says it's like he's been born in hard mode. So he's been born in hard mode. So he's a big gamer, and he actually streams on Twitch, and he's got a bit of a follower base now. And yeah, he always says it on his streams. It's like spawning in on Earth. You can spawn in healthy, tall, strong, good looking, or you can spawn in on Earth ugly, you know, maybe a midget or maybe with like a disorder or Asperger's, and see what you can do with life. Come on, just go on, just have a go, see what you can do, prove everyone wrong. And I love that concept and thought. And then you got people who get the shit end of the stick, like Kevin here, and they just don't even try, and give up, which I can see a lot of people doing, and I'm not in a situation like Kevin where I've got everything wrong for me. I've actually got a very good life. A lot of things have gone my way. So I really can't see it from Kevin's side, but I can imagine if you get dealt that shit card, or dozens of shit cards or whatever, you just hate life and you just want to cause hate and pain to other people maybe. And that's maybe what's happened with Kevin here. He's molesting nieces, he's molesting neighbors, he's friggin', trying to molest another girl now. He wants other people to experience the pain he's gone through. And you can do that, or you can take it on the chin and try and do some good in this world. I mean, Peter Dinklage is a legend. Game of Thrones. Look at what he's doing with his size.
So I know exactly what you said to her and when you said it. So you might as well just tell me the truth right now, what you had in mind.
I did not have any sex in mind. Honestly. I did not.
You talked about sex with her online.
We may have, but I have no intention, sir. I had no intention.
Did you send her any pictures?
I had a picture online of me and a bird.
I love that picture of him and his bird. Typical grooming, okay? What better way? Lorne did it with the dogs. I know other predators did it too, but what better way to engage a child than to have a little parrot on your face? Hey, look at my little bird, my little budgery, my little parrot. Master tactic. No, not even master tactics. It's common sense for someone who wants to manipulate a child. Engage an animal with them. That could even be smarter and more predator-like than sending nudes. Because sending nudes to a child, generally they'll be like, oh, what the fuck's that? But sending animals, hey, that's cute, let me see more. Can I keep talking to you? Engaging the child. Kevin's a master child manipulator. He's done it twice already. He has molested 2 people. I know it was 2. I used to think it was 1. And recently we found out it was 2. One being his niece and something, I don't know who the other one, maybe his daughter as well, I think, I don't know. Does he have kids? We're going back 4 months now. I think I found out he did have kids. There's a new call. Someone was talking with Kevin and she reached out to Joey Jeremiah and said, look, babe, we've been talking. I've got all these calls with Kevin. Half of them are boring, but some of them are interesting. She recorded them and everything, and she ended up not sending them for whatever reason. So we may never know exactly, but I feel like I was told he did molest his daughter and his niece. So that means he had a kid with someone. Whether it was a midget he was dating or a person of average stature, I don't know. But be interested if we could reach out to his daughter and find out, what Kevin was like. Not, but that sounds bad. Not what Kevin was like in bed, but I mean like what Kevin was like as a father. Jesus.
That's it.
Just you and a bird.
Yeah.
All right, I want you to stay right there for just 1 second there.
Okay.
At this point, Kevin's like, what the fuck's going on here? Is he going to come back with a pistol and shoot me in the face or something? He knows at this point he's seen someone come out with these papers, one of assistants of Chris Hansen. Kevin knows he's in the middle of a sting. He would have to know. It's a big operation. They've got the house for rent. There's people behind closed doors now filming. Maybe not even filming. He probably doesn't even know it's a TV show. He just thinks it's a police sting operation. He knows some shit's about to go down.
So that's the picture you sent?
Yeah, that's the one I have.
You can even see the little green from that bird on his face. Yeah, I can make out like a green pixel.
And you said your name is Kevin? And your last name, Kevin, is what?
Westerbeck.
Westerbeck. Now, Kevin, you've had some contact with the law before.
That's correct.
Tell me about that.
I can imagine it would be really hard to talk about prior convictions of sex offending. Lorne has trouble talking about it 10 years afterwards. Kevin would too. It'd be so hard to talk about. But he's in a situation now, he's put himself in this situation, and he's not going to look good after he talks about this, I tell you.
I'm currently with Montgomery County case.
And what kind of a case is that?
This child, it was a child, I forget what it is.
Child solicitation?
Ooh.
No. Oh, that one. Oh, yeah, the fair one.
Oh, yeah.
And why don't you tell me what you did, Kevin?
I didn't do anything.
What were you accused of doing?
Importuning or something like that.
Importuning.
Importuning.
Tell it to me in
Haven't even heard that word before.
in regular terms. What did they say you did?
They said I came out to meet some girl, I guess.
So let me get this straight. You were accused of doing the very same thing that you're out doing tonight.
Ooh, that's got to sting. That's got to sting while he's in this sting. Now, that does not reflect well on you. Having done this before, and I think Kevin got a lot of time behind bars. Not exactly sure how long. He just got out like Christmas, so he would have got 10 years, I think. Yeah, to be honest, he got a bargain deal with that. I reckon you should go away for longer than that. If you're a multiple offender of child solicitation, how can you only spend 10 years in jail? You had the opportunity to rape two children, yet he's got away with it with only 10 years. But Kevin Westerbeck right now would be thinking he's in big trouble. I think he was on probation or something maybe, and he's doing the exact same thing he went to do the first time. Does not reflect well on himself or his motives. Like you can't argue that, oh no, now this time I came out to not have sex. You can't. You've done it before. A logic mind of a human being would say that he's doing it again, soliciting a child for sex.
I had no intention of this.
All right, let's go back to the other case for a minute. You pleaded guilty to solicitation of a minor for sex.
It's a plea.
It was a plea.
Right.
You pleaded guilty.
Correct.
And you got sentenced for that plea, correct?
That's correct.
11 months.
Correct.
In fact, next week, on Thursday, you have to go to court.
Correct.
Jesus Christ. So this dirty bastard, if tonight went how he planned, he went to see this girl, Destiny, slept with her, this smirking little twerp Oompa Loompa fuck would have been in court next week saying, oh yeah, I've done my bid, done my time, whatever. Oh no, yeah, done his time, yeah, because he's done his 11 months, I'm guessing. Yet at the back of his mind, he knows he's done the wrong thing, which is so scary because imagine all those predators. There'd be other people that have done this and gotten away with it and gone to court and, for another offense they've done their time. Yet little does the judge know that the person standing in front of them, the predator, is still committing crimes. And it's scary. And, the world, there's some fucked up things going on in the world. Actually, I spend a lot of time on the deep and dark web, and I also watch a lot of videos of the dark web. And and I've heard some fucked up things about it and what happens to kids. And some of the stuff, some of the stories, the most fucked up story I've ever heard, and I've heard a lot of fucked up stories. If you want to hear it or anything, I reckon I could probably say it in a video actually. If you want to hear it, comment in the videos, comment in the comments section, or add me on Skype, brotherisaiah123@hotmail.com, or just look up Brother Isaiah on Skype. I'll tell you it. But it was a fucked up story involving children. And when you hear this story that was on the dark web, you really lose faith in humanity, and you realize that the world is full of bad people. And when I see something like this that's happening now, where a predator who's done their time, come out of jail and trying to do it again, it really doesn't surprise me. You can't change a sex offender. They're always going to want to seek out sex with a child, especially someone like Kevin. He's got some self-esteem issues, and who else better to sleep with when you have self-esteem issues than with a child whose mind is underdeveloped? It's seriously fucked up.
And they're going to decide whether or not you're going to become a registered sex offender.
Yes.
And then you're going to go to prison.
Correct.
Oh, so we have. Yeah, that's my reaction. That reaction is gold by Chris. Look at him step back with his hands out. He's like, "What the fuck, Kevin? You dirty
Go
bastard!"
to prison.
Correct.
What then are you doing?
Oh, that is great. So he hasn't done his time yet. He's about to do his time. So let me get this straight. So he hasn't spent any time in his jail. He's going to court to defend his sex offender status, and to defend his jail time. And in the meantime, he's like, "Oh, I'll just take a risk and do it again." What logic does that bring? It's just a sick person who can't control themselves. If he was willing to risk himself and put himself on the line and his integrity on the line now, what's to say he won't do it now after he's been in jail? He spent 10 years in jail and he's come out. What's to say he won't do it again? He did it back then with all those risk factors weighing him down. What's to say he won't do it now? Actually, you know what won't do it now? The fact that a cock might penetrate his asshole again, because he was raped constantly in jail, and the guy who was raping him is free, and apparently Kevin's trying to sue him for damages, mental damages, while he was in prison. But that's part of the experience, Kevin. And the best thing about that, him being raped, is that that's probably going to be the thing that stops him from going back to jail. And sorry, stops him from committing a crime that will send him back to jail. He's probably not scared too much about like doing time, but he's scared about being fucked up the ass, I tell you. Oh man, I hope it hurt him.
Doing in this house less than a week before you're supposed to be in court and go to prison for doing the very same thing.
Stupidity, because I didn't expect this to be like that.
So what, it's my fault?
No, it's not your fault. I'm not saying that.
But he won't admit it's his own fault. Alright guys, I better end it up here. I'll start part 2 and upload that in a couple of days. Thanks for watching. Till next time, see you later.